and welcome to this week's episode of Follow a Researcher. Last time, you learned a little bit about me and how I became a student at the University of Maine studying the pace at which icebergs are melting around Antarctica. This week, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the work I've been doing and what we'll be doing over the next few weeks. In past seasons, we have focused on the things that scientists and engineers do in their work, like asking questions, collecting data, and using and developing models or practices. These are all things that I do in my work as well. This season, we want to try something a little bit different by looking at some of the ways in which all areas of science are interconnected. We call these cross-cutting concepts. Some of these concepts include patterns, cause and effect, and systems. Over the next few weeks, we will investigate some of the concepts that are most important to my work and how they can relate to different areas of research. As you may know, Earth is made up of systems that we call spheres. You may already be familiar with some of these. The hydrosphere includes all water on Earth, and part of the hydrosphere is the cryosphere, or all frozen parts of the hydrosphere. This is what I study, specifically glaciers, but the cryosphere also includes snow and permafrost. The atmosphere is another one of these spheres, which involves all gases on Earth, like air. The geosphere includes solid parts of the planet, and the biosphere includes all living organisms. If you think about it, you've probably interacted with all of the different spheres already today. Even you are a part of the biosphere. If you ate, you interacted with the geosphere and the biosphere. If you drank any water, you interacted with the hydrosphere, and depending on where you are in the world, perhaps the cryosphere. If you breathed, you interacted with the atmosphere. As you can see, the Earth system is dynamic and made up of smaller systems that affect and depend on each other. This is a useful way to look at the world, and it can help us make connections between various scientific research projects. I've been really fortunate to already have been able to conduct research around the world, investigating research questions that explore interactions between these various Earth systems. In my undergraduate thesis in Iceland, where I looked at Steinholtzjökull, I saw that glacier extent has been impacted by a variety of climatic and non-climatic events like volcanism and rockfalls. This past summer, I was involved in a project called the North Cascades Glacier Climate Project, where I was a part of a team that assessed glacier health, or how much snow these glaciers were getting each year, in a mountain range in Washington State on the west coast of the US. These glaciers are an essential water supply for people who live below them. Currently, my master's thesis on iceberg melting and glacier dynamics looks at how glaciers and the ocean interacts in Antarctica. As I mentioned last week, I'm using satellite imagery to measure how fast icebergs are melting around the Antarctic Peninsula, a smaller region of Antarctica. This is important information because the pace at which icebergs melt tells us a lot about the temperature and velocity of the water in the ocean around those icebergs. Glaciers that terminate in the ocean are directly affected by the water temperature that comes into contact with the ice face, causing underwater or submarine melts. So we want to know how ocean conditions change over space and time. These projects are all seemingly different, but all are related to a systems approach to science. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey over the next few weeks. Next week, I'm going to talk about the Earth system that I study in the context of models and system models. Some questions I have for you are, do any of the Earth systems relate to what you're studying right now in science? Do you have any questions about my research? And why do you think it's important to identify cross-cutting concepts? I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and you can catch a new video and join me live on Twitter each week as I answer questions from followers around the country. Have a great week!